a sitting area. They're going to sit here when it's time to
Oh,
leave.
and the kids. You know the kids are going to love to race up and down.
Yeah, they're going to be throwing their trash out the window and
Right.
everything else. And
The trash.
Bike path. Now we have many groups here represented. We've got the Niagara Neighborhood Association, the Flint Neighborhood Association, the Narragansett Bay Wheelmen, Green Futures, Friends of the Quequechan River Rail Trail, Bike Fall River, Park Advocates, and the South Coast Bikeway Alliance. So you can see a lot of groups are not very happy. Now, why are we here? We're here because of a poorly written easement order that was sent down to the council on February 21st, 2017. It allows, and later on I'm going to show you, we're going to walk up there, it allows a 2-lane road to cross and squeeze against this brand new, beautiful bike path. And I shouldn't say bike path, it's a multi-use path. A lot of people use it for walking. Now, this plan was in the works for over a year. Over 1 year this plan was in the works. And not one stakeholder that I've mentioned, all those groups I mentioned in the beginning, not one group was informed about this plan. Not only that, the mayor has a bicycle commission. The bicycle commission was not informed about this plan. The park department was not informed about this plan. So we have it kept quiet for over a year. And not only that, where is democracy in this city? The hearings that took place for this bike path by the Department of Transportation in the city were numerous. But now that they want to rate the bike path, not one public hearing. You didn't know. The state didn't know. $8 million was poured into this beautiful path. And also, our group that I've mentioned, we've been doing a lot of work, a lot of research. And recently, we found out in a legal document that's registered that the trail is considered a linear park. Now that's down at the Registry of Deeds. It was registered in 2014. The importance of this is multi. It's called a linear park. It's a recreational facility. And also, both the city and the state that agreed to this document said we have to abide by Article 97. They both agreed. To do something like this, you have to jump a lot of hurdles before you can do anything like this when it comes to Article 97. The other important item is all recreational facilities, all parks come under the park board. That is done on purpose. The state set this up years ago in the state laws, and the city law shows that all recreational facilities automatically, it doesn't say the city has to vote to give the park department this or the park board, that they have to transfer it. No, there's a list in the city regulations of what comes under a park board, and recreational facilities and parks come under a park board. Why I bring that up is, again, the city did this maneuver, the administration did this maneuver without even getting a park board vote. That would have been our chance for the public hearing, and it never came up.
Okay.
Now, again, as I said, unfortunately on this beautiful day, we have to be here to defend a brand new path. And we're not going to allow this gem that now exists in your city to be destroyed. I'm hoping that you all join us. And remember, no road save the trail. Thank you. I have a few speakers that I would like to introduce. And the first one is Jim Hornsby, Reverend Jim Hornsby, who will say the blessing. Reverend?
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to see. Oh, good. I'm glad to see, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm glad to see so many people here and so many people from St. Luke's Church, which is now the only church along the Quequechan River on the Niagara side. And we're right over there on Warren Street, and other services are tomorrow at 9:30. And
Put it closer.
and we will be praying for the trail. So, just dump the water in when I say dump the water. I'm going to bless the path in a traditional way with water and asperges. Asperges are when you, and I was also asked to give a blessing to everyone here, so I'll do that. There's a significance to what I'm using. We have, in the English tradition, part of a yew tree. The yew tree was, in medieval times and even earlier, a civil defense item. The yew tree grows strong and straight and high, and its thicker branches make bows, and its thinner ones make arrows. And so in the time of necessity, it was protection. It was protection. And the branches with leaves are, of course, a river birch which grows by the side of the Quequechan. Dump the water in, will you? Just dump it all in. The water, of course, is from our river. Bless, O Lord, this river. Make it to be a water of life, a water of protection. Bless this path and all those who pass along it. May God bless all of you. In the name of God, Amen.
Amen.
And if people, particularly any children, want to bless us, I think we're going up that way, are we?
Not yet.
When we do, grab a piece of this and some water.
Thank you, Reverend Hornsby. I'd like to introduce Carlos Caesar from the Flint Neighborhood Group.
Thank you. I just want to thank everyone for attending this morning. I think it's very important that we send a strong message that something like this cannot happen. This has been on the works for many, many years. For those that have been following the process of the bike path, everybody knows that it was from the bike path that came the beautiful Travassos Park. It was from this funds that the states allow us to and gave us some funds for Travassos Park. And it's amazing how from nowhere comes now a deal that nobody knows about, including the entities, everybody that was very close to the works of this bike path. So I'm strong advocate for this fight, and we will win.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Carlos. I also like to introduce...
Brian, I forgot to say one thing.
Yes.
I asked for God's protection, and I forgot the rest of my speech. God has no hands but our own.
Amen.
Thank you. Our next speaker, who is on this path almost every day, cleaning this path almost every day, is Janice Clark. Janice, where are you? Oh, there you are.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm not much of a speaker, but I am here today due to how I feel about this trail. First of all, I want to thank the organizers for bringing this to us, and thank the people that are here for supporting us. I'm not here for me. People ask me to speak about how I feel about the trail, but I'm not here for me. This is much bigger than I am. This is about all of us and what we feel is necessary and what we need to do. We need to continue and not stop putting on the pressure. Continue to tell our government or our local government that we don't want this. We do not want the danger that a two-lane road would bring to us. If there was one accident on this road, it could endanger the wildlife, it could endanger us. We don't want that. It's not over. We are not done. We've got a lot of work to stop this, and I am not going to stop, and I hope you don't. I hope you go out there and tell everybody and bring on a big crowd that we have today. Continue, and I thank you for your support. Thank you.
And when I say Janice is out here almost every day, it's incredible the work she has done for this path. And she's a member of the Quequechan River Rail Trail group that group had done some incredible cleanups. How many tires did you guys pull out one time? 300 tires. So you got all these citizens that do their work, volunteer, no pay, and the city wants to do this. Amazing. I also would like to introduce John Sylvia from the Niagara Neighborhood Association. John?
Hey folks, I remember this bike path from the beginning stages where Julie Kelly, Al Lima, and some other folks started this, Sandy and Dave Dennis with the Park Advocates. And I remember looking through this and saying, it's great, but will it happen? That's what happens in Fall River. All these plans, it's great, but will it happen? And it happened. And I look at this when I come to this path myself. This is something where most people say they don't even think they're in Fall River. And we deserve this. We deserve to have this path stayed intact. We deserve this from now on. From now on, we need to start thinking we deserve better. And we really need to come with no compromise. They need to come back and say there's no road, that's how it's going to end, because we deserve this. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John. And we also have, I believe, Ted, did you want to say a few words? Ted Schwartz from the Narragansett Bay Wheelmen. If you're not familiar with the Narragansett Bay Wheelmen, they're the largest bike group in southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island. When you go on a ride with them, it's usually about 150 to 200 cyclists.
Thank you for coming out. This is such a beautiful path, and when you're walking on it today or you're riding on it, the colors couldn't be more beautiful. And it's the nature of what a park should be. And a park is something that's done in perpetuity. You have so much to be proud of this park being here, and it's freshly built, and to tear it up and divert it would destroy the very beauty that you all experience and the whole city benefits from. It's just a shame to tear it up. The NBW has 1,500 members. Approximately 45% of them are from Massachusetts, from southeastern Massachusetts. What you're doing is the right thing to keep this path. And no construction happens in a vacuum. This path is just built. To tear it up, it would take a year before it's put back together. And that's a year lost for everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Ted.
We're going to be wrapping up, but I have to introduce one person. I'm going to ask him to stand. This bike path was named after him. He was a dreamer. Years ago, he pictured in his mind this bike path. He never, you know, we lose our dreams when we become adults. But when it came to Al Lima, he kept that childhood dream all the time. Not just on this, but many other projects that he has pushed for in Fall River. So a few years ago, a group of us went before the city council and they agreed. And we named it the Alfred J. Lima Quequechan River Rail Trail. And I just want to introduce Al. Al, if you could just stand up and just wave to the group. Now, I guess the question is, what can we do? Oh, easy. Okay, here we go. One last speaker, Amy Blanchett. Come on up.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Awesome. I can't believe we have this many people here. It's amazing. So I want to speak about 10 years ago, my son was 2 years old, and I lived on 17th Street. And I would take him every day across the street to Britland Park. We'd go to the back entrance to the police station, and all the cops would stop, and they'd wave to my son, and he was so excited. We would see all the construction that was being done, and we literally saw the construction step by step in the process, and my son was so excited to see that there was stuff actually being done, because prior to that, as I stated, there was a lot of tires in the water, there's tons of broken glass, there was trash, it was a mess, and I felt so sad to see it that way. So now, fast forward a couple years later, I'm on the Flint Neighborhood Association, and the Quequechan River Rail Trail is finally becoming a reality. I'm so happy that I've been able to see it from the beginning to almost the end. Unfortunately, now we have to deal with this easement in our way. You know, the Flint Neighborhood Association, Flint Neighborhood in general, we get a bad rap a lot of times because it's a crime. There's a lot of people who have a low socioeconomic status in the Flint. A lot of us walk, don't have cars. I'm one of them. There's a lot of people who've been hit by cars, adults, more children than adults, to be honest with you. And if you don't walk every day, then you don't necessarily know what it's like. I do. I walk every day, and it's not always easy to cross the street, even when you're in the crosswalk and you're waiting and you're doing everything the correct way. It's not always the pedestrian's fault when someone gets hit by a car. More often than not, it's not. So now we have this rail trail, and we have a safe avenue to go to get to Stop and Shop, or to Walgreens to get medication, or to just go for a walk in the park and not have to worry about a car coming and hitting a pedestrian or hitting our child. We have beautiful wildlife that we get to see that we can't believe is right smack dab in the middle of the Flint neighborhood. It's incredible. Just because the Flint neighborhood is of a lower socioeconomic status doesn't mean that we don't deserve to have this trail in our neighborhood. We deserve it just as much as any other neighborhood. This easement cannot happen. We cannot back down, and I know I will not back down. If anybody that knows me here, and I know a lot of you do, I'm very passionate about the causes that I take up, and I will not back down. And I hope everybody stands with me, and we fight this thing, because this cannot become a reality. I will not allow the wetlands to be destroyed by this easement. No! 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 Who's with me? That's what I want to hear. All right, thank you, everybody. Have a good evening, good afternoon, evening too, I guess. I'm a little ahead of myself. It's a long day ahead of me. But have a good afternoon.
Earlier and earlier these days.
That's true. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. And for those who say, what can we do? There are steps. Sandy Dennis is over there with Carlos at the table. There are things you can do. You can sign up. I believe she's got postcards. And also, if you sign up for emails, if you're not on our email list, you can sign up today and we can tell you when things are going to happen. We're also suggesting that show up at the city council meeting. Several of us will be speaking at the next city council meeting, which is Tuesday, October 24th. So we'll be there, and we're hoping that others can come and support. You don't have to speak, but if you're in that crowd, they see it. They get that message. I believe it's around 6 o'clock. Am I correct?
Yes, 6 o'clock.
6? Now, we're going to have a quick song.
Tom?
Who's leading us? Oh, Tom Corey's going to lead us. And we have kazoos, I've been told, for those who want to kazoo along.
All right, where are the kazoos? You have a minute to pass out kazoos. Anyone want a kazoo?
Take the kazoos. Take the kazoos. The kazoos are coming around. Pick them up.
Pass out the kazoos. It reminds me of that guy from the dog show. Do you want?
Quequechan kazoo.
Lenny, yes.
Oh, it's getting her a yellow one. Oh, yellow? She wants a yellow one. All right. You have the orange left. I'm going to say. You want the blue? I absolutely. I just can't open my hand. Would you mind helping? I just need the yellow one.
All right, who's got the kazoos? Get them going. Want to raise your voices strong. Are we going to hear everybody?
Yeah.
Join with me, please. This trail is your trail. This trail is my trail. From Britland Park to the Westport town line. From Pleasant Street to the Rodman entrance. This trail was made for you and me. As I went walking that ribbon of rail trail, I saw above me an osprey fishing, and saw below me a swan was swimming. This trail was made for you and me. This trail was your trail. This trail was my trail. From Britland Park to the Westport town line. From Pleasant Street to the Rodman entrance. This trail was made for you and me. As I went walking that ribbon of rail trail, I saw above me an osprey fishing, and saw below me a swan was swimming. This trail was made for you and me. I can say that again. Here we go. This trail was made for you and me. Come on, keep it going now. This trail was made for you and me. One more time. Come on. This trail was made for you and me.
Super. You know, we're just about done, but I'm going to ask if anybody wants to see where this horrible plan is supposed to take place. I'm going to walk up there, and if you want to come along, I'll show you what they're planning to do.
Ryan, Vincent from the business at Brayton Avenue.
Right. The road is going to run actually right from there all the way to where we're going, about 400 feet, abutting the trail they're going to rip apart. So if you want to come, we're going to go walk up there now. If not, enjoy the day and spread the message to your neighbors, your friends, your family. Please get it out there. We got to stop this. The mayor did say, if we don't want it, it will not be built. We're holding him to his word. No road. Yeah. Boy, they're still following us with that drone. That's amazing. It's beautiful here. You can see the wetlands, the grass, the animals. We're not sure.
Well, I'm pretty sure.
So, this is the plan. For those who are standing over here on the bike path, it's going to take a 90-degree jog. It's going to come over here and then down there. The road, and I got the plan if you want to see, and I think Everett Castro has a copy too, so if you want to look at it, we got it. The road is coming from there, it's going to cross, and then where you're standing, that's the road. So it's going to probably take out some of the wetlands, it's going to take out more of this wetlands, and this is what you call progress, I guess, in Fall River.
It's also going to take out these trees.
It's going to take out all the trees that have just been planted. Yep. Now the wildlife in there is incredible. The kids love it. And I can't think of another community that would get $8 million from the state to build a gem like this, and then that city would then ruin it. Can you name a community would do that? No, you can't. So if you want to see the plan, we got it, and this gives you the better idea what's going to happen. Again, thank you for showing up.
Brian, where's the entrance going to be? From Brayton Avenue?
Where we came from, when we were talking,
Travel right up here?
right up here. So you're going to have, you got that light over there, all of a sudden you're going to get this road, and I know many cyclists, and the Narragansett Bay Wheelmen will tell you, this time you're on a bike path, you come to one of the corners, instead of staying on the bike path, you might want to go into that community. I do that all the time. You're going to be taking a right into a heavily traveled road, coming off a highway, because you get the highway ramps. Now, does that kick in? Is that what it's about? Direct connection to the highway ramps for trucks, a lot of cars. And picture the kids that the mothers and the fathers allowed to run up and down the bike path because it's safe right now. You're going to have a 90-degree jog. I know as a cyclist, when I cycle on a bike path, you have these long loops for safety. There's no such thing as a 90-degree jog that you turn at 12 miles an hour onto a road. It doesn't happen that way. So the public safety issue is incredible. The wetlands, the destruction of animal habitat, the list goes on, and the lack of democracy in this city for not one hearing that took place on this plan. Not one. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
We need a
Flag. You can see the flag.
Yeah? You in? Okay.
No road, save the trail. 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 No road, save the trail.
No road, save the trail.
No road, save the trail. No road, save the trail. No road, save the trail.
No road, save the trail.
No road, save the trail. No road, save the trail. No road, save the trail. No road, save the trail. No road, save the trail. No road, save the trail.
Save the trail! This is a German forever.
So here's the plan if anybody wants to look.
Melissa Schwanard. Steve
We're-
Schmara, nice to
we're
meet you.
standing
Nice to meet you.
right here.
Excellent.